All right, let's get right into it. In real estate, there's this big phrase being thrown around, seller choice. The idea is that you, the homeowner, are totally in control. And, one of the biggest choices agents are putting on the table right now is selling your home privately, off the public market. On the surface, it sounds great, super straightforward. But there's way more going on that meets the eye.
And really, it all comes down to this one single question. When your agent pitches you on this whole private listing strategy, are they giving you the full story? I mean, everything you need to know to make the right decision for you? That's exactly what we're going to dig into right now.
Okay, so to really get what's happening at your kitchen table, we've got to rewind just a little bit. Because the recent history of private listings, oh man, it's been dramatic. We're talking about a full-on industry war. I mean, seriously, it wasn't that long ago that the whole real estate industry was basically throwing tomatoes at this idea. The first brokerages trying this stuff out, they got hit with lawsuits, scathing articles. I mean, their own peers were publicly calling them out. It was seen as this huge threat to the whole idea of an open, fair market. But this is where it gets wild. Talk about whiplash. Just look at this complete 180. What used to get you sued is now a formal in-house strategy. All that public outrage has just melted away, replaced by this super friendly, empowering phrase, seller choice. It's like the rebels all of a sudden started running the whole show. So, okay, let's zoom in a bit. Enough about the big industry trends. Let's bring this right down to where it actually counts, your kitchen table. Because that's where this big abstract strategy turns into a really, really personal decision. Just imagine this scene, right? You're sitting there, maybe with a cup of coffee, and your agent is across the table. They've got the slick presentation, all the professional handouts, and they start walking you through the amazing benefits of a pre-market or private listing. And you know what? The pitch is good. It's compelling. It makes a ton of sense when you first hear it. And look, the benefits they're talking about, they're totally real. If you've got a family, pets, or just value your privacy, the idea of fewer strangers stomping through your house is huge. And getting to avoid that dreaded days on market clock ticking up for everyone to see while you're trying to figure out the right price, yeah, that is really appealing. It honestly sounds like a complete win-win. But, and this is the absolute core of what we're talking about today, behind that very appealing pitch, there's a massive trade-off. One that, well, doesn't always get brought up in the conversation. And this quote, this just nails it. A choice made without complete information isn't really a choice, is it? It's more like a guided recommendation, just dressed up to sound like it's all about your freedom to choose. Think about it. If you only hear the good stuff, are you really the one making the call?
Yeah, this lays it out perfectly. The two sides of the coin. On one side, you've got the promise, privacy, convenience, less hassle. Awesome. But on the other side is the trade-off, and it's a big one. By its very nature, a private listing shrinks your pool of potential buyers. And simple economics tells us fewer buyers usually means less competition. And less competition, well, that can mean a lower final sale price. That's the part of the equation that sometimes gets glossed over.
All right, so let's tackle the biggest justification you're going to hear for this strategy. The number one reason given, that it lets you test the market with zero risk. The pitch goes something like this. Hey, let's just float a price to our exclusive network of buyers, see what they think. If it doesn't work, no big deal. We'll just go on the public market. And that days on market clock never even started. Sounds pretty clever, right? Like a savvy strategic move. But here's the question. Are you really testing the market? Because let's be super clear about what a market test actually is. It means you expose your product, in this case, your home, to the entire market. That means every single agent, every single potential buyer, all at once. That's how you gauge the real response from all the competing buyers out there. So here's the bottom line. Testing your price with just the buyers from one brokerage's network, that's not testing the market. It's more like a focus group. You're getting opinions from one small corner of the market, not finding out what the highest bidder in the entire city might have been willing to pay. So what's the solution here? Look, it's not to say private listings should be banned or anything like that. Not at all. It's all about having a totally open, totally honest conversation right from the very beginning. You have to remember, your real estate agent has what's called a fiduciary duty. That's a fancy way of saying they are legally obligated to act in your best financial interest. And that duty means they have to make sure you understand both sides of any strategy, not just the perks, but the potential downsides, especially when it comes to your bottom line.
A truly balanced presentation, it should sound something like this. The agent says, look, there are some real advantages to this private approach. They acknowledge the convenience and the privacy, but then they say, the trade-off is that if we limit who sees the home this early, it might affect the competition we can build, and that could affect the price. I want you making that call with both sides of the story right in front of you. See the difference? It puts everything on the table.
And really, that's the whole point. Private listings aren't evil. They absolutely have their place. For some sellers, hey, the convenience and privacy are genuinely more important than squeezing every last dollar out of the sale. And that's a perfectly valid choice. The goal isn't to get rid of the option. It's just to make sure that when you make that choice, it's a truly informed one.
Because when it all comes down to it, real seller choice isn't just about an agent giving you a menu of options. It's about you understanding the full story, the pros and the cons, behind every single one of them. Because real choice, true choice, always begins with real information.